Hi again. I am Param Singh. Hope you are all doing well. In the last video, we designed this function to model the traffic light, specifically the next state of the traffic light, using a type called atom, which is used to model distinct and finite number of choices. So in our case, we had three choices: red, green, and yellow. We modeled our data using the atoms. And in the spec, we said the input could be one of the following: either red or green or yellow. And output can also be one of the following: either red or green or yellow. At the end, we also noted that for data where the number of distinct choices are too many, for example, the characters on a keyboard, each time writing this kind of a spec for each function can become unwieldy. So a solution to that problem is to define our own custom types, which Elixir allows us to do using the addType attribute. Let's see now how we add custom types to our program. So right at the top where we start our module, we are going to start with attribute called addType, and then we will follow it by the name that we want that type to be. So let's name our type as traffic light, space 2 colons, and then what kind of data is this type going to represent. So we are saying the traffic light can be one of red, green, or yellow as an atom. The second thing we change is in our function signature. So here, instead of now specifying individual atoms, we are going to say we have a next state function that takes traffic light as the data type as an input and also produces traffic light as an output. So that's it. So anytime you have to write a function that uses traffic light as the data, you can use this custom data type in your program. Clear the console and run our mix test again. And now our all three tests pass. So before I go, I would like to mention that Elixir itself is not a statically typed language. That means the types are not checked, or in other words, your program is not type checked for any type related errors by the compiler. So even if I have anything wrong in this data, for example, if I make a mistake of typing yellow with two W's and I go back to run it, it will still compile and run, and it will say one failure, and that's purely because that it was expecting yellow, and it says it did not match one of the function clauses. So it was able to run the program and run the other tests just fine. So then one would wonder, why would you want to go into the complexity of writing your own types if it is not type checked? Well, there are still a couple of advantages. One is your code becomes more readable and maintainable. What I mean by that is each function that you would write using the traffic light data, you don't have to extensively write what that type entails, which also means that if you have to make a change in the program, for example, if you add a new variant to your enumeration, in this case, let's say there is an orange color or a blue color that is added, you only need to add that at the very top level in the type and not have to worry about making changes in individual functions because that will trickle down. The second advantage is that Elixir has tools like Dialyzer, which we have not looked at any detail yet, but those would allow you to catch type related bugs at compile time and at least would ask you to pay attention to those and fix those. So this is certainly would be a good help for us as a programmer to fix those types of errors at the compile time. And then the third advantage is that at a later time, if you are moving on to a statically typed language, your learning curve becomes much flat because you are already familiar with types and type hints and how types are checked. So you are thinking in the framework of types, regardless of the fact that you are using a dynamically typed language. So I think these are good advantages to explore creating your types when needed. And I would encourage you to do that. I'm not aware of any huge disadvantages of using the types in Elixir, but in case any of you do, I would love to learn that. So please feel free to add your comments in the comment section below, and that would be great. So other than that, I think this is it for this video. Join me in the next session where we will try to learn some more Elixir using a different problem set.